Welcome class 12, the third level, part 3. What is the problem with the Charlie? The story writer or the narrator, or we can say the hero of this story, is having some sort of insecurities, a kind of anxiety and worried. He is fearful because he has suffered heavily from the World War II, and this is the general depiction of the people of that time. Means the story was written in 1950s, so it was a depiction of that time. So here we have seen that he had a different type of mania, or you can say the phobia, a different type of psychological disorder in which he visualizes the different things. He wants to go to the past. This is the problem, and he is looking for it. He wants to go to a place where he could live peacefully. So Grand Central Station and all that we have studied. So bumps, Central Station. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in the office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So these are the different times where the writer got confused with the tunnels and subways of the Grand Central Station of New York. रेलवे स्टेशन, न्यूयॉर्क रेलवे स्टेशन है, उसमें ग्रैंड सेंट्रल स्टेशन है, वहाँ उसमें इतने ज़्यादा टनल एंड सबवेज हैं कि the writer says he gets confused every now and then, going to some place and coming to some another place. Sometime I think a Grand Central Station is like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There is probably along the tunnel that nobody knows about, filling its way under the city right now and its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. And maybe because for so many people through the years, through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way to escape. Maybe that how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. He here in this paragraph particularly, you will find that escapist, as I told you, is the theme of this story. He finds his way to escape. अपना एक escape करने का, बच के निकलने का रास्ता वो ढूंढ रहा है उस world से. The world full of miseries, wars, insecurities, fear. उनसे बाहर जाने का रास्ता वो ग्रैंड सेंट्रल स्टेशन में उसे मिलता है. Sometimes I think ग्रैंड सेंट्रल स्टेशन is growing like a tree. ऐसा लगता है वो किसी ट्री के जैसे ग्रो कर रहा है. Like the tree has so many roots and branches, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. जैसे under the ground tree अपनी roots को spread करती है. Similarly, it seems as if Grand Central Station is also spreading its root under the ground. There is probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, filling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. There is probably means perhaps, a long tunnel that nobody knows. एक ऐसी tunnel है जिसको nobody knows about, filling its way under the city right now. वो city के नीचे कहीं जा रही है, under the city. On its way to Times Square is the name of place. Times Square is the name of place, and maybe another Central Park. पता नहीं Central Park के लिए, Times Square के लिए, where the tunnel is going under that city, nobody knows. And maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, and for so many years, Grand Central Station is a way to escape. If you want to go away from the city, you will have to go Grand Central. So the writer says it, a way to escape. Has been an exit. ये एक exit है, जाने के लिए रास्ता है. A way to escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. और इसी तरह मुझे भी वो tunnel मिल गई. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. But I never disclosed about this tunnel that I had come across to my friend who was a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist means one who deals with mental ailments. Going ahead, so the corridor I was began angling left and slanting downwards, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. Then I heard that then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead that means open space and people talking. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. For just a moment I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer tickets, windows, and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. And the man and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and a long black sleeve protectors. So in this paragraph you will find out how the writer came across the third level. The corridor I was in, जिस कॉरिडोर में मैं उस दिन गया, in began angling left. वो left की तरफ angle means turning. It was turning towards left and slanting downwards and going downwards. Slant means bent. ये angle कर रहा था, मुड़ रहा था left के लिए, and slant means going downwards, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. For a moment I thought that I have gone to a wrong way, but I kept on moving on that corridor. उस corridor में मैं जाता रहा. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. There was no noise other than my footsteps. मेरे footsteps के अलावा कोई और sound नहीं थी. And I didn't pass a soul. Soul means person. I didn't pass any living being there. I was all alone walking through the corridor. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead that means open space and people talking. Then I realized that there was a hollow roar, means hollow. Then after a tunnel there is an open space, and in that open space when people talk, the sound, the voices of their talking comes to the tunnel. That writer says hollow roaring ahead. मैंने थोड़ा दूरी पे मुझे आवाजें सुनाई दी. इसका मतलब था open space and people talking. कोई open space पे मैं जाने वाला हूँ. People are talking there. The tunnel turned sharp left. अचानक से वो tunnel left, sharp left की तरफ turn होती है. I went down a short flight of stairs, and I took a flight of stairs. Flight of stairs means some stairs to go down. Stairs बनी होती हैं ऊपर नीचे जाने के लिए tunnel में. तो flight of stairs को मैंने लिया, and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. And finally I found myself that I have reached to the third level of Grand Central Station. For just a moment I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. For just a moment, it came to my mind. मेरे दिमाग में क्या आया? I was back on the second level. कि मैं third level में नहीं, second level पे ही हूँ. But I saw the room was smaller. But I realized, फिर मुझे realize हुआ, at that place where I had arrived on that day, the room was smaller. छोटा कमरा था. There were fewer ticket windows. The number of ticket windows were also lesser, and train gates and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. Or train gates was also different. Information booth was also different, which was on the center, and both were of wood, made of wood and old looking. दोनों पुराने दिख रहे थे. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. उस information booth के अंदर जो आदमी बैठा था, he has a green eye shade. आई शेड उसने लगाई थी आंखों पे ग्रीन कलर की, एंड अ लॉन्ग ब्लैक स्लीव प्रोटेक्टर्स, और लंबे ब्लैक स्लीव्स का एक जो उसकी ड्रेस थी, पार्ट ऑफ हिज ड्रेस. द लाइट्स वर डिम एंड सॉर्ट ऑफ फ्लिकरिंग. जो लाइट थी वहाँ वो क्या थी, बहुत डिम थी, एंड अ काइंड ऑफ फ्लिकरिंग, एक इस तरह से कि मोमेंटरी जो एक फ्लेम में से जो अचानक से ऑल ऑफ अ सडन द light come from the flames. The flame burn high, and the light we come to see is called flickering. अचानक से जो किसी फ्लेम से ऐसे लाइट अचानक से आती है उसे कहते हैं फ्लिकरिंग. लाइट भी ऐसे आ रही थी जैसे फ्लिकरिंग सी. देन आई सॉ व्हाई दे वर ओपन फ्लेम गैस लाइट. देन आई सॉ, मैंने देखा ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, व्हाई द लाइट इज फ्लिकरिंग. देन आई रियलाइज्ड दैट द लाइट वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम ओपन फ्लेम गैस लाइट. ओल्ड एज में जो तरह जब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं थी ऑन दैट टाइम ओपन फ्लेम्स गैस लाइट यूज किए जाते थे. एंड इन दैट थर्ड लेवल the light was coming from those open flame gas lights. So this was how the writer reached to third level. What he saw in the third level, let us see. There were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. He wore a derby hat, a black four-button suit with a tiny lapels. He had a big black handlebar mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1819 something. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves. So क्या देखता है, देयर वर ब्रास. ब्रास इज ए काइंड ऑफ मेटल. ब्रास के स्पिटून्स. स्पिटून्स मीन्स कंटेनर यूज्ड फॉर स्पिटिंग. थूकने के लिए जो कंटेनर लगाए रहते हैं उसे बोलते हैं स्पिटून्स. ऑन द फ्लोर एंड अक्रॉस द स्टेशन ए ग्लिंट ऑफ लाइट कॉट माई आई. सडनली ए लाइट coming from a far distant place came to my eye. When I saw it was a man pulling a gold watch. एक आदमी अपने पॉकेट, वेस्ट की पॉकेट से गोल्ड वॉच, गोल्ड की बनी वॉच को बाहर निकाल रहा था. एंड द ग्लिंट ऑफ दैट, द शाइन ऑफ दैट गोल्ड वॉच hit my eye. I snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. I snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. मैंने अपनी आइज को ओपन किया. And look at the watch, and I frowned. Frowned means put your eyebrows upwards when you are surprised. तो frowning कहते हैं. हम अपने जो आई लाइन है, जो हमारे आईब्रोज हैं, उनको ऊपर कर लेते हैं. क्यों? Because we are surprised. It is called frowning. I frowned. I was surprised. He wore a derby hat. उस आदमी ने एक पहनी थी a kind of derby hat. A black four-button suit. सूट था 4 बटन का. With tiny lapels, cotton folds जो होते हैं कॉलर के नीचे, tiny small lapels उसमें थे. And he had a big black handlebar mustache. और उसके एक बहुत बड़े हाथ से जो उन्हें पकड़ सकते थे ऐसे हैंडलबार मुस्टास थे. मीन्स ही हैज अ वेरी थिक मुस्टास ऑन हिज फेस. उसके फेस पे मूछें थी बहुत बड़ी. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1819 something. Then I found that all the people around the station were wearing the dress people used to wear in 1890 something. 1890 के आसपास जो ड्रेस लोगों की थी, people were wearing the same sort of dress in that place. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. I never saw, मैंने कभी नहीं देखे थे, the people with many beards, इतने अलग अलग टाइप की जो beards, दाढ़ी है. Sideburns, when the people keep up to their, the cheek. यहाँ cheek तक ही कुछ लोग दाढ़ी रखते हैं, बाकी काट देते हैं, उसे कहते हैं sideburns. And fancy mustache, और अलग अलग टाइप की mustache, मूछें लोगों ने रखी थी. People were having all sort of such things I never seen before. A woman walked in through the train gate. Train gate से एक woman आई. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeve. और उसकी जो ड्रेस थी वो leg of mutton sleeves, like triangular leg of mutton means approximately triangular सी उसकी ड्रेस ने उसे बना दिया था. Leg of mutton shoes, मटन स्लीव्स एंड स्कर्ट, स्लीव्स एंड स्कर्ट उसकी ट्रायंगुलर शेप की थी, टू द टॉप टू द हाई बटन शूज, और नीचे उसके शूज हाई बटन मीन्स ऊंचे अप टू द नी और समटाइम टू द एंकल, एंकल से ऊपर जो होते हैं, हाई बटन शूज। बैक ऑफ हर, उसके पीछे, आउट ऑन द ट्रैक्स, उस रेलवे ट्रैक्स पे, आई कॉट ए ग्लिम्स ऑफ अ लोकोमोटिव, मुझे दिखा, locomotive is a kind of train, a very small courier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. Locomotive थी, train थी, very small, छोटा सा, courier and Ives locomotive was written on that locomotive, a funnel-shaped stack, और उसका shape कैसा था, funnel shape, funnel के shape का था, funnel you know, funnel का shape होता है keep, जिसको हम कहते हैं हिंदी में, funnel shape का हो, stack means पाइल, ढेर था वो, एंड वो क्या था, लोकोमोटिव इंजन का एक। एंड देन आई न्यू, टू मेक श्योर आई वॉकड ओवर टू ए न्यूज़ बॉय, फिर मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया, वेयर आई एम, वाई द थिंग्स आर सो हियर, सो टू मेक श्योर दैट आई हैव बीन ऑन द थर्ड लेवल, I went to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. Stack means pile in a great amount, plenty of papers का जो ढेर था उसके फीट पे, उनकी तरफ मैंने देखा न्यूज़ बॉय के. It was the world, and the world hasn't been published for years. I saw that the stack of papers, means the pile of papers, were of the world newspaper. जैसे हमारे यहाँ the Times of India, we have the Hindu, we have the Hindustan. Similarly, the world was the newspaper, and I know that the writer knows that the world hasn't been published for years. ये तो कई साल से publish ही नहीं होता. How can a boy can sell such newspapers? The lead story said something about President Cleveland, and the headlines on the front page of this newspaper was something about President Cleveland. उस 1890 के आसपास जो प्रेसिडेंट क्लेवलैंड थे उनके बारे में कुछ लिखा था. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894, and it came to my mind that I have seen that particular news on a newspaper, The World, in a public library, and the date of that newspaper was June 11, 1894. ये जून 11, 1894 की न्यूज़पेपर की हेडलाइन को मैंने पहले भी देखा था. कहाँ? The writer has already seen this headline in a public library. So the same newspaper in a heap, in a pile, was there on the third level. I turned towards the ticket window, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the years 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. गिल्सबर्ग इलिनॉइस के लिए वो टिकट लेने की अब मन बना रहा है थर्ड लेवल पे. तो ही वेंट टू टिकट विंडो, knowing that here the third level in Grand Central I could buy tickets that would take, मैंने कहा यहाँ पे मैं टिकट लेता हूँ, एंड अपनी वाइफ लोइजा और अपने साथ ले जाके मैं यूनाइटेड स्टेट में कहीं भी जा सकता हूँ इन द ईयर 1894 के. एंड आई वांटेड 2 टिकट्स, मैंने 2 टिकट्स लेने चाहे. कहाँ के लिए? गेल्सबर्ग इलिनॉइस के लिए. तो गेल्सबर्ग इलिनॉइस वो जा रहा है. He's trying to buy 2 tickets from that third level of Grand Central Station. Whether he will get the 2 tickets for Galesburg, Illinois or not, we will see in the next video. Till then, goodbye, and keep on writing the summary and notes of the part you have studied so far. Thank you.